Hello everyone, and welcome to SUNUP. I'm Lyndall Stout. Despite a few warm days this week, winter is really settling in across Oklahoma. And to get an idea on how these temperature shifts are impacting our wheat crop, we're joined by our Extension small grain specialist, David Marburger. David, sometimes we see this 40 to 50 degree temperature shift in a matter of 24 hours. Yep. How does that impact the wheat crop?
Well, we kind of think about it in terms of where we're at in the growing season right now, and we're in January right now, and so far the wheat is already cold hard. It's already being dormant, and having these big temperature swings this time of year is not going to have as big of an impact on the crop because it is dormant. If we were to have this type of temperature swing before we get into winter, when the plants have not had a chance to acclimate yet, that's where we can run into some issues. But fortunately, where we're at right now, the plants are dormant, and we're having these big temperature swings, which does kind of give the cue that the plant does want to try and grow again, but it's gotten cold. But so far we should be fine with that, because we have to think about where does it really have to do some harm to really impact the plants, and that's at the crown, which hopefully your crown, if you did a great job on your planting, that crown's going to be below the soil surface, and that is helping insulate that a little bit. And fortunately too, with the temperature swings that we're going to have, they're not going to stay here very long. So by the time it would take the soil temperatures to really lower down to a level that could potentially cause harm, our temperatures are going to warm back up, and we'll be back at a more ideal level.
How about the moisture levels? Are we okay? Obviously we're pretty dry everywhere, but does that impact the crop this time of year?
I was just going to say it kind of depends on where you're at in the state, and the southwestern part of the state, actually there is soil moisture out there, but we get into other areas, especially as you move north central out to the northwestern, out in the panhandle region, it's very dry. There's no doubt about it. It is very dry. And this time of year, fortunately, even though this is some of our driest time of the year is right now, but fortunately we're not doing a lot of growing right now. And in terms of the crop this year, we got off to a pretty good start. We were able to plant overall a lot of our wheat into soil moisture and get it up and get it start growing, but unfortunately the rain shut off. And so for producers who are trying to target maybe a little bit more fall forage in some of those areas, they may not have had quite the fall forage they wanted. But as of right now, it is very dry, and we need a rain. Fortunately, it sounds like this coming weekend we're going to have a significant amount of rain across much of the state. That's definitely going to help, and if we can continue to catch some more rains from now up until we get to jointing, that's definitely going to help our case for this crop.
I know the wheat isn't too busy right now, but in terms of management for growers, what kind of things are you talking to them about? Well,
right here, this time of year normally is when we start thinking about top dressing, and I know Dr. Arnell last week, he talked a little bit about some of the considerations that are going to go along with top dressing. So that's one of the biggest management things to consider right now. And as we transition into the next couple weeks here, into mid to late February, we're going to start thinking about first hollow stem. So that's another thing, and around that time too is thinking about getting some of our herbicide applications out there. Some of the herbicides that we use, they have to be used before we get into jointing. So we have to make sure that those are done.
Okay, so still work to be done.
Yes.
Okay, David, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
We'll see you again soon.